So today I wanted to do a demo of some pens that I picked up recently ahead of the Staple Comic Convention here in Austin, April 12th and 13th at St. Edward's University. I have a table there. I'll be selling my new comic, Liber Timoris, that I recently completed. And I'm also going to be doing some custom sketch cards, 9x12s and 11x17s. And I'll hope you'll come out and check that out. So I wanted to try out some new pens. The ones that I've been using previously that have been really good are these Micron monoliners in an 8 and a 5, and these are kind of like my standbys. They're great. They don't bleed. They're waterproof, so if you do any kind of like washes over them, don't have any problems with that. I also have this like Copic Multiliner medium brush pen, and this is more of like a felt tip style, and it's good for filling in like pretty large pieces of black. And I've also been experimenting with this Pilot Parallel pen that I swapped out the ink for with a FW liquid acrylic, which is also color fast as well. So the ink that comes with this is not waterproof. So just heads up there. But there's some videos on YouTube on how to like switch this out so that you can have like an ink in here that is color fast. But it's pretty cool. It's got like a chisel tip on it, and you can get some really interesting line variations and obviously some like parallel lines. So I picked up a zebra brush pen. It's a fine tip. And this is the Zensations, so that's one. Also picked up the Pocket Brush Pen, which I hear a ton about. I think this only comes in like a medium. And the medium point color brush pen. So to test these out, I decided what I was going to do was a 9x12 sketch. I was inspired by this issue of Lobo that I picked up, the cancellation special. Got the Simon Bisley variant cover here, but the interior art is by Kyle Hotz, and it's awesome. So inspired by this, I decided to do a Lobo headshot sketch. So I've got like the pencils done here, and what I'll be doing is going through, doing the inks, starting out with the Zebra Zensations fine tip and kind of working my way up to the medium point brush. So let's get started. Okay, so before we get started with the actual inking, I thought it would be good to do some comparison to the Micron monoliners that I have and the Copic Brush Pen, and I'll even throw in the Pilot Parallel Pen too, versus the Zebra Zensations fine tip brush pen that we'll be using here. So let me move this over to the side, get the scrap paper here. All right, so with the 8 micron, again, it's a monoliner, so you're gonna have one consistent size of line pretty much no matter what. I mean, you can press down on it pretty hard, but that's about what it's gonna end up doing. The 5 is obviously a little bit finer. Okay. And then the parallel, because it's a chisel tip, has kind of a, well, definitely has a different line quality to it. So you get the thin lines, you also get the thicker lines here too. And the Copic Multiliner brush pen, this is again the medium. You can get some line variation. You can kind of get thinner. It's not going to be very thin though. And then obviously much thicker. Okay. So this is the Zebra brush pen. You can tell from the tip that it's kind of a like felt tip style, but it does look like it kind of has like a brush. I'm gonna see if you can focus on that. So let's see what this looks like. Yeah, so I can already tell it does feel smoother on the paper. You can get a little bit thicker variation there. It is a little thicker than the Micron, you know, and then obviously you've got some line weight variance that you can do by kind of pressing down towards the front. So there you go. All right, so that's the Zebra. Now this is the Pentel Pocket Brush. And this has very much like a brush style. It's soft and feels basically like you're using a brush. So yeah, you just have to be kind of careful with it whenever you're using it, because it is probably it's as close to a brush as you're going to get, you know, without actually carrying a brush. But you know, you can get pretty fine lines. Here is what it looks like. Again, this is my first time using it. It's really cool. I like it a lot. But I could see how I'd probably use this for, you know, maybe some thicker outlines, things that are like, you know, near in an image. Okay. And then last, we've got the brush pen. This again is very much like a brush, and definitely has like a much softer brush nib to it here. You could get fine with it, but you know, again, it's not, I don't think that's what this is really for. And then yeah, it definitely gets pretty broad. So those are the three I'll be using for this. I'm gonna try to stick to the three new pens just for the demo, and let's get started. So here's the finished inked illustration of the main man, Lobo. I really liked using these pens. The Zebra was a really nice surprise. I mean, it's a brush pen, but at the same time, I felt like it still had the kind of control that you would get from, like, say, a Micron monoliner. And I really liked the lines that I was able to get from that. And then the Pentel Pocket Brush was also really nice. It does take a little bit of getting used to for the control. The brush pen, I still need to get used to this. It took me a little while to get to the point where I was able to kind of get the ink flow that I really wanted to be able to kind of like black things out. I've also heard this isn't waterproof. I haven't checked it yet, but it is something to consider if you're planning on, doing any kind of like, color over this. I'll probably take this into Procreate and do digital coloring myself. And you may notice too that I've added some white here. That's actually a Posca paint pen, paint marker that I used. This is probably a wider one than I normally would use, but it was the one that I had on hand. Plan on getting a smaller one for more detailed work. So yeah, I just wanted to go through and show you what these could do, and thank you for watching.